So you're about to watch or listen to my sleep schedule, sleep hygiene video. This is a disclaimer, something on the screen. Um, it took me 3 attempts to make this video, and I decided on the last one that I wasn't going to make any more attempts, that this was it. My brain did not click into working mode until about 10 minutes in. Um, there's not a whole lot important in those 10 minutes. I edited as much as I could. There were a lot of long pauses while I, due to my condition and medication and my history with ECT frying my brain. I have periods where it takes me a long time to retrieve a phrase or word from my brain. And I had a lot of those. I got rid of as much as I could. It's kind of choppy, but yeah, so this is just this isn't my best work. If you want to really get on to the good, important stuff, then go ahead and skip over 10 minutes if you want to skip over me stumbling around. Um, and my voice is getting weaker. It doesn't hurt, it just vibrates. And so I push more to make more volume. So I think that's getting more apparent. But if you do listen, thank you. And leave a thumbs up if you like it. I'm going to be sending out anxiety kit, the advanced bipolar kit. Um, there might even be another one, but that's it. Thank you. Hello. So today we're gonna do sleep hygiene or sleep schedule for people with bipolar disorder. It's the bipolar kit, the basics, sleep hygiene. So this is for beginners, people just diagnosed, people who have been diagnosed but are now just learning, or people who just need to freshen up their information. Not that my information's anything special, but I have had bipolar. I was diagnosed in my mid to late 20s. I'm 50, so, but I had symptoms before. I was treated for depression at 15, so you could almost say I have 35 years experience in mood issues and anxiety. So I just had a weird adventure involving moods that I'll share with you. I'm on the border of normal and irritable. I'm like right there. And my computer was not cooperating. It was making a weird dinging noise. And I recognized that if I kept trying to mess with it, I was getting overwhelmed. I was starting to cry. And I was trying to make this video and I was like starting to bawl. And y'all know I can just like cry all the time. So I had to call in my IT squad, which is my mother. What would I do without her? I haven't heard a ding yet. I was going crazy. Okay, so on with video. This is actually the third video I have made of this. The first time made it halfway through and the dinging started. It was a mess. And then I tried again and my sound was weird. Something warped or something. So this is number 3 and I am bound and determined for it to follow in order with the first one that I posted. So here we go. First I want to talk about, and I have a list, just because like I said, I'm on the border, so I'm a little forgetful. First of all, why is it important to have a sleep schedule? Why is it important to go to bed at a certain time and wake up at a certain time? It helps lessen the likelihood that you will have not just mood shifts, but if you have mood shifts, they'll be less likely to be severe and require something more extreme. And it will help make your life more manageable. You will be more healthy physically and mentally, and you will be able to get more things done because you will be in a better state. It can take a while. It can take months to get into a set rhythm. Now we know that when you reach like hypomania, phasing into mania, you may start to notice that you're staying up later and later. And now this is before you don't sleep at all. This is, and it's, if you keep your schedule, you're less likely to slide into, mania or severe mania. And you have to make it such a habit because it's hard to stop yourself from doing something that feels really good, which is stay up late, cruising the internet, writing, going to bars, whatever your mania bag is. So you're trying to avoid slipping over into that, and if you already have this in your habit, you're less likely to go to those extremes. On the other side, with depression, oftentimes it is difficult to get out of bed and start your day. Sometimes our entire rhythm gets shifted to being up all night and sleeping during the day. And that just perpetuates the abnormal mood. So we're wanting to avoid mood shifts altogether or lessen their severity. And I have had a set schedule for a long time. Here and there have been tweaks with changes in my life, or medication I take. The weird thing is I have a smartwatch, and I have discovered, and I feel this as well, just because you sleep for 8 hours, or at least your eyes are closed for 8 hours, it doesn't mean you got quality sleep. So there is a difference. There are things that you should avoid, like caffeine and alcohol and before bed, because you might have your eyes closed for 8 hours, but you probably didn't get, you wake up and you're like, why do I feel so crappy? I was in bed the whole time. Um, you know, time doesn't always equal quality. Um, to start your getting on a schedule, one of the first things you're going to need to do is find out how long it takes your medication that you take at night, if you do, how long it takes you to get sleepy, to get drowsy, and then you'll know where to place the other activities. If you're too sleepy just getting into bed, there are other things that you want to do in that time period. Like, for example, I wear a guard for my teeth because I grind my teeth. If I am too drowsy upstairs and it's down in the bathroom, the medication kind of clouds my judgment, and I'm just so ready to just collapse that I'll go to sleep without it. So, and then you don't want to get into bed thinking you're going to fall asleep soon and then get frustrated when half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour goes by. So you have to decide at what point you're going to do certain activities before and then after you take your medication. And it's not always the same. Generally it is, but I'll be taking the same medication, and I think it just has to do with my mood, that sometimes it's harder to fall asleep, and I take a lot of medication. I mean, it really should like make me just drop to the floor, and it doesn't. Sometimes, if my brain is the only thing holding me up, so. But in general, it takes, like I said, I take it at 10:30, and at about 1:30 is when I'm turning off the lights, putting my earbuds in, and getting all, my special pillow and everything I like to have to sleep. That's my rhythm. Not everybody has the same internal clock, the circadian rhythm. I am a night owl. I've been a night owl since day one. Some people are early birds. They wake up at 5 a.m. naturally, see the sunrise. I can't force myself to do it. It's very difficult for me when I have to force myself to fit into what is considered a normal time frame for life. I have always worked afternoon or evening or night shifts. So everybody is different as to when they get sleepy and when they wake up naturally. Everybody's different in how much sleep they feel refreshed from. I need 9 or 9.5 to really feel refreshed. If I did it once for a week. I just let myself wake up naturally, and 9 to 9.5. The alarm clock. I've brought this up in my last one, I think. This is a different one, though. I lost that box. Uh, your alarm clock. Hey, it's backwards. I wonder what it's going to look like when you watch it. So, 2 alarms I recommend. Digital. I recommend you put it across the room in the morning. You have to get up and actually walk out of bed. That is a trick I learned in nursing school. There were times when I worked and I had to get up earlier than I naturally do. I would have to have 5 different alarm clocks going off. Not at once, but like 5 minutes after each other. So I was like going back to bed, going to get the next alarm, going back to bed, until I finally gave up. It was a struggle. It was a big struggle. 2 alarms is so that you can set like one 10 minutes after the other, and then in case you go back to bed. And just about electric one that has batteries, and put batteries in it. Keep good batteries in it in case your power goes out. So yeah, it's important to wake up at the same time. If you sleep at what your body naturally wants you to sleep and wake up, you'll find that eventually you will start to wake up at the same time every morning. Okay. Next is the hot bath. I recommend a hot bath or shower. Bath is preferable, because when you are in the process of falling asleep, your body temperature drops, so you're kind of doing a fake out. And just a sec. Okay. I have a couple things. I know some of these things in these kits overlap, so this is frankincense and myrrh with Epsom salt. I love this, but it's only 3 uses. It's kind of expensive and it's not easy to find. But this, I really like this. I was surprised. Dr. Teal's Epsom salt melatonin sleep soak. I don't think the melatonin is gonna like seep through your skin and help you, but it says has lavender and chamomile, and again, I can't say whether the essential oils they use are, the quality of them, but I am saying that I have used this product and I really do like it. And it comes in a bubble bath as well, which I really like. Your setup. Your bedroom. Make sure it is a temperature that you sleep best in. Some people like cold rooms with so they can have heavier blankets, and some people like like room temperature and sleep with a sheet. Whatever your preference is. If you some people like to have a fan blowing. Bedding, I recommend as much cotton or flannel cotton as you can, natural, uh, not man-made materials for your sheets and comforters, things like that, because they tend to hold in the heat and you can get overheated and get restless and frustrated and not have a good night's sleep. And pajamas or no pajamas, whatever you prefer to sleep in, make sure you have that ready and clean and ready to go for your night. I I am very picky about my pajamas. They've got to be have legs. I can't sleep in a nightgown or shorts. I don't like my skin. There's something about my skin touching my skin. It bothers me. And so I'm very picky. And so I'm very conscious of when it's laundry time to make sure I have some available, because I did dry fleece in the winter and it was just too hot. Really soft, but way too hot. I like to make my bed every morning. For some reason, there is something about going to bed and pulling back the covers and getting into a nice, neat, and tidy bed that is made and set up for my ideal sleep. I don't like getting into a messy bed that is messy from the previous night's sleep. And it also just makes my mind feel less cluttered. And I'm sorry, I really wish I didn't say so much. But, oh well. This is a weighted blanket. Now you can buy a weighted blanket that costs more than this did. This costs $17. I'm going to make a cover for it myself. It was in the craft area. Other ones can cost like 40-ish dollars depending on the size and company and what it's made out of. But they are really good for the weight is like deep pressure therapy. Like a thunder shirt for dogs that are afraid of thunder. People with autism wear special shirts. It affects the nervous system and just sends out signals for calming, anxiety relieving, less irritable, more grounded. So I highly recommend a weighted blanket. My voice at about 30 minutes, I'm less able to talk. And when you're reading in bed for falling asleep activity, now everyone's going to say your bed is for sleeping only. You shouldn't do anything in it. I don't think you should have your electronics in it, but I think reading is fine. But I recommend a book that reads something that it's interesting, but nothing that's too stimulating. Nothing that's gonna make you want to think, well, I'll just stay up a little bit longer so I can read a couple more pages. Um, so I have made that mistake myself. So something that for end of the day relaxation, not necessarily something that you're going to have to learn from or be bored by, a little treat at the end of the day. Like I said, I listen to playlists on my iPad. Uh, that I have made playlists specifically for falling asleep. But I just love bringing this out because I found it and it actually still works. So, um, yeah, some relaxing noises. This actually had in it calm sound, which was like birds chirping, rain, things like that. Don't forget your libraries. My phone. Don't forget your libraries, your Goodwills, there's shops for relaxation, meditation, CDs. So if you can find these CD players, if the people don't know what they're doing, you can find these at yard sales and stuff too. Um, they're starting to be considered vintage. So, um, if you try to buy one online, it might be more expensive. So, but they're out there. Obviously, the reason you want to avoid your phone and your tablet and your laptop and your TV at bedtime after you take your meds, after your hot bath, is it stimulates your mind and just goes backwards. It just puts you backwards in the path you're trying to take to sleep. Good old chamomile tea, sleepy time. And what I know, a lot of people think that warm milk is disgusting. I personally like the taste, and I would put milk and tea together and get it hot if I was having trouble falling asleep. I have a little chair with some books, and if you're having trouble falling asleep and you're starting to get frustrated, get out of bed. Make yourself some tea or tea and honey, tea and milk, tea, honey and milk, and find somewhere to just sit. And I look at picture books, photography books and things like that to just reset, and after about 15 minutes go back to bed and try it out again. Some aromatherapy, smelly things. I recommend just using incense at night because unless you can afford a diffuser, but otherwise, like anything involving a candle flame while you're sleeping would be dangerous. You can I don't think I brought the incense. That's okay. I didn't bring the incense. So then you can, this is sandalwood. You can spray it on your bedding. Incense, obviously, you burn, and you can put it on yourself, on your pajamas. I like, for bedtime, I like patchouli, sandalwood, lavender, chamomile. Lavender, I hate the smell of it, but I do think it does have some effect. I wear this at bedtime. It's just a mask. Harry Potter mask. When I'm meditating, which is something you can do before bed, I often wear an eye pillow, which has flaxseed in it, and it's also aromatherapy because it's got lavender and what else does it have in it? I don't know, but you can make one of these yourself, putting seed in there and some lavender, whatever you want, and put it in a sock. And then sew it shut. And, well, if you safety pin it, you might have to be careful. You can sew it together if you want, though. And it's a nice stretchy sock that can go over your head. But you can just drape it over. For an eye pillow. Before you finally go to sleep, some point, make sure your medication for the morning, that looks bad, for the morning is ready. So make sure you have water and meds ready. Because you might go back to bed and forget. So if you have it right there, you at least took your meds and then went back to bed for just a little bit. Because I know I have medication that needs to be taken in the morning on an empty stomach, so I keep it handy. And the thought spinning, the ruminating, the racing thoughts, ways to counter those. This is more about, I use meditation for more than for racing thoughts, but ruminating, where I'm just worrying about the same thing over and over, to help conquer those at bedtime. There are a few things you can do, which are meant to help you put that worry down for the night. Put it somewhere, and it can stay there in that spot while you sleep. So one is, this one is kind of silly, but it works. They're called worry dolls. And there's 4, and you take the dolls, and before bed you assign each doll a worry, and they will do the worrying for you while you sleep. And you don't have to have the dolls. You can have 4 pebbles, or 4 bottle caps, I don't know, and just be like, okay, this worry, that worry, this worry, that worry. And it's like, it's a psychological thing. Another idea, and it's journaling. Now remember, I say this every time, and you can get these at the dollar store, just composition books. There's nothing special you have to write about. Put your worries down, whatever is bothering you, keeping you from peace, to fall asleep. And you don't ever have to read them again. You can throw them out the window, but it helps to just vent and get things off your chest, and to put worries and concerns down somewhere to give some relief for bedtime. And that's my primary use of journaling, is just venting. Like, I just got to get this off my chest, but it's not the right time or the right person for me to. It's not appropriate for me to hash this out right now, so I have to do something with it. It's just, those things where you're like, this isn't fair, and you can't get it out of your head. Put it down. And then, of course, if you are one who prays, pray for a good night's sleep. Pray about your worries and concerns. So I know a lot of people get some comfort from their faith, so I wanted to include that. And the last thing I do on mine is the eye drops. Where is it? Yes, refresh. Because if you put them in early, you're not going to be able to read, because your eyes are going to be kind of blurry. But that's to help keep your eyelids and eyeballs from fusing. And then you open them up in the morning, and the epithelial cells from your cornea have stuck to your eyelid, and it feels like you have something in your eye for. It's awful. You don't want to go there. I've had it happen twice. So ultimately, consistently getting a good night's sleep will help you with battling agitation, irritation, decreased anxiety, depression, extreme mood shifts. It will help with you'll be clearer in your mind thinking, so you're going to have better insight, a better outlook. So it really is I would say meds are important, but right behind it is sleep.
without healthy sleep, nothing's gonna go well. it's just it's just necessary. And sometimes it sucks that you have to make such an effort for something that people take for granted. They just like walk to the bed and lay down and fall asleep. It's like insane. Um, or wake up. And so, but it really is key for bipolar disorder. I mean, um, they really don't know which is coming first, the mood shift or the sleep change. So, um, I never take it for granted when I wake up in the morning and I feel refreshed. So, that's a good day. That's always a really good day. And that's all I have for sleep, hygiene / schedule.